My teacher, Abraham Maslow, used to say, self-actualizing people must be what they can be. There is something inside of them that says, if I have the capacity to do it, I must figure out how to be able to make it happen for myself. This is what I have done recently. I had someone come in and say to me this morning, you look so fit. I've been watching you for 20 years. You look better now than you did 20 years ago. You look stronger, you look healthier. I said, I have made a commitment to radical well-being, to making my body respond to me, because what I have come to know and understand is that what happens to you when you get older is a result of what you believe when you are younger. Even Alzheimer's is like the idea that when you're in your 20s and in your 30s and in your 40s, and you believe that the aging process is one in which you have to slow down, that your mental capacity begins to deteriorate, that your memory isn't quite as good as it used to be. I don't know if you've noticed about my memory, but I hardly used any notes the entire time that I was up here. Because, and I'm not asking for applause, I'm just saying I have made a commitment to myself that I do not have to slow down, I do not have to deteriorate, I can do anything that I put my attention on, including travel to Australia and then travel to London and travel to Israel and do these kinds of things, because you make a decision now, whatever age you are, that as I go through the process of my body going through what we call the aging process, that I am never going to believe that I have to slow down, that I have to deteriorate, that things can't work out for me as well, that I'm going to get something like Alzheimer's and so on. You need to make a declaration to yourself, now, to yourself, I will never attract Alzheimer's into my life. It is not something that I'm going to buy into. It's not something that's going to show up. If I start forgetting things and so on, I'm just going to work harder on my memory. I have the capacity to keep myself from doing this. So what you believe affects not only whether or not you get cancer and all the things that Anita and I were speaking about up there, it affects every aspect of your life. And there's not a reason in this world that all 1,000 people who are in this room cannot make a decision to their own radical well-being. And if you just make that decision, the universe will help you to fulfill it. Remember Thoreau's definition of success. If you advance confidently in the direction of your own dreams and endeavor to live the life which you have imagined, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. It will begin to show you. That's why I do the juicing. That's why I do the gluten-free. That's why I don't eat toxic foods and I eat organic foods. That's why I do these crazy coffee enemas and things like that, because I have an awareness that I can take this body of mine, and through my intention, I can make it as absolutely healthy as I declare it to be until I decide to leave this body. So this is what I was working at 20 years ago. And I've always known that you do not have to slow down. It does not have to, but you've got to be so cautious about the ways that you think and process this about your life. Make a commitment right now to yourself that I'm going to live from a place of radical well-being. All you have to do is make that commitment, and then what you're doing is you're removing some of the corrosion that has existed from living at ordinary levels of consciousness. This is what just Castaneda was talking about when I was reading that earlier this morning. That corrosion starts to go away, and the universe sent me. I never made a decision that I was going to do juicing and coffee and gluten-free and all of that. Once you are in that intention, and you're living from that place, this universal consciousness you'll start to align with it. And once you start aligning with it, it will recognize itself and offer you whatever it is that you need in order for you to fulfill that destiny that you've signed up for. But if you're believing that it can't happen, or if you're believing that it's hard or that it's difficult and so on, it doesn't know anything about hard. It doesn't know anything about difficult or about it not happening. This universal consciousness just knows about being, It just knows about love. And it will send you the right people, the right events, the right circumstances. That's what I can see clearly now is really about.